I am seriously nervous. Like, not joking at all. All right, before I even start, like, just help me out. Just somebody say something positive. Like, just, yeah. All right, and I got to do it now. Let's do it. Whether it be the sweeping eagle in his flight, or the open apple blossom, the toiling workhorse, the blithe swan, the branching oak, the winding stream at the base, the drifting clouds, form follows function, and this is the law. Lewis Sullivan. Let me be clear. I was never normal. I moved at the tempo of my own radio. Head nodding proudly, the waves escaped me beautifully. They were purple and went on forever. It was always weird to me, though, that no one else could hear it. I wondered, were their brains broken or mine? My father was actually a local DJ back home. His DJ name was DJ Moses K. Often wondered if he could see the waves, too. Like somehow my hereditary outlook was a blood right passed down generation to generation. And I was hoping for some sort of biological gift that would tell me that I'd inherited from him. My mother inspired me to look up to the heavens. She was my first teacher. She taught me how to manipulate space and time with my mind. She told me once before that she too saw the dots. They were multicolored and brilliant just like mine. Sometimes God can be a little overhanded with the irony, if you ask me. Now, both of my grandmothers were birthed from earthquakes and soul music. They gave me both a revolutionary passion and the gospel. They caused and calmed storms with the self-same winds. As a child, I learned quickly that at the end of the day, it was their choice, always. I'm happy to say they taught me that same magic trick. My grandfathers passed away before I was even aware of myself. Now, that's a very odd thought, but even a stranger reality. The tragedy is I still don't know them even to this day. At times, their names even escape me, but the power of their absence in my existence rarely ever is so lucky. Whether it be sweeping eagle in his flight, or open apple blossom, the toiling workhorse, the blithe swan, the branching oak, the winding stream at its base, the drifting clouds, form ever follows function, and this is the law, says Lewis Sullivan. Being able to represent full, living, breathing, controversial, difficult, complex ideas in the shroud of simplicity is its own form of magic, altering your outlook by referencing your in-look, if you will. Symbols tell you something about how your outlook is altered if you listen. I firmly believe that the ability to take an idea out of the ether and make it manifest in the subconscious of others is also a divine magic. Scientists agree that our minds were not designed to perform complex tasks such as reading words. A ghost in the machine, if you will, it is only achieved through intended formulation. When I was a child, I was surrounded by positivity purposefully. I was a drug baby. I was drugged to Sunday school, Wednesday night Bible study, and of course, Sunday church service. And like any good doctor would tell you, a child whose mind is exposed to any form of psychedelic will inevitably see the effects as an adult. The effect for me came in the form of wordplay, vivid imagination, and at times creepingly optimistic pessimism. In other words, I wanted to become a rapper. Even as a child, I would hold my ear to the radio in order to better recite the choruses of all the rappers who sculpted me. But as you recall from the maxim of Lewis Sullivan, form follows function. This is law. And my form had been one in the shape of civil rights activists, pacifists, and revolutionaries. The result led me to believe that this could only function in the form of rapping the gospel, or some people call it the good news. Bad news was that my faith had been waning for some time now, due in large part to my form. I thought I had supplied myself with everything I needed, but forgot to account for the earthquake-like curious nature of my founders. I couldn't be boxed in, predicted, nor contained. I had to leave home, and I had to do it now. Here in Pensacola, I found entirely new ways of looking at reality to both consume and convey. Free from my nest and newly made aware of the possibilities of flight, all I wanted was to elevate higher and higher to planes of existence. For the first time, I had a place to fully express myself. Nearly everything was great until it wasn't. The loss of self in the search of someone else and all the losses in general forced me to find the missing pieces. You see, the seas were made to move on, no matter what, eventually. And I was born in a city next to the Gulf. By searching for my own true nature in order to better perceive nature, the Great Mother blessed me to meet the divine feminine. Balance and unity and love and all the sunflowers growing at any given moment felt like this, because that was the intention. Encouraged to climb every mountain, forward every stream, and follow every rainbow until I found my dreams, I did just that. I established my own record label and purposed in my heart to pursue a life as opposed to a career. I wanted to be happy, and I wasn't ashamed of it. The problem was, I felt a calling so strong that it refused to let me walk normally, like in an expected way. It reminded me that I was never normal, and that was okay. It was actually more than okay. It was my form. It was my function. Now, once I accepted this, the universe spread the word and pulled together a supernatural team to accomplish this task. Everything was uncool until it wasn't. And considering how cool we are, it's going to be a long while before it's uncool again. They're pretty cool. Every day, I remind myself of those powerful words from a very powerful architect. Form follows function, which is why I purpose to form a positive function in this life every day, because positive living alters nearly everything. Plain. Thank you.